Again, being a journalist, I'm not going to try to do the math, but 25 years from now, I would fully expect that we will see some of these folks perhaps at the next Silver Circle. Our next honoree is Glenn Riley. A reluctant decision to take a summer television workshop for youth changed the direction of Glenn Riley's life, and that in turn has influenced the lives of hundreds of other people. Glenn is not only a talented producer, he has shared those talents with students at MATC as an instructor in the television production program. Here is 2023 Silver Circle inductee, Glenn Riley.
Glenn Riley was one of the more outstanding students that I recall here at Channel 10.
I remember when you entered the telecasting program back in the late 70s or early 80s. And I also remember your initial panic at your first TV workshop program. You successfully handled that and went on to have a very successful career at Channel 10.
You know, up until his retirement, I did not know a Channel 10 without a Glenn Riley. He was here well before me as a student, then as a part-time employee, then as a full-time production specialist and videographer, then as supervisor of all of our studio productions, and finally as a first-year TV instructor in our academic programs. I mean, how incredible is that? And to be so well-liked and respected every step of the way.
When I think of Glenn, I think of professional. Professional in all aspects, be it shooting, lighting, or teaching.
Glenn came back, worked for us on the production crew where he did a multitude of projects. He was camera on sports events, symphonies, concerts, you name it, Glenn was camera on that. And after a while, Glenn was promoted up to be the studio supervisor. He was actually the first African-American studio supervisor here at Channel 10.
You were a great inspiration on the production crew. You moved to the instructional side where you mentored many a young man and a young woman into a successful career.
This man knew the station, the industry, the challenges, the excuses, the expectations. Decades of students benefited from this depth of knowledge.
Glenn has influenced me like he's influenced everybody. Make sure you get it right.
While I was sad as Glenn's supervisor at the time to lose him, I was happy that he was going to the instructional side to help teach and instruct the future broadcasters.
I've known Glenn a long time friendship, long time professional person. He's top notch. He's top notch.
Glenn Riley was more than just a co-worker. He was actually a friend. He was a very good person to assist on everything and anything that anybody ever asked.
Now, as a broadcast production team member, you're often asked to do what it takes to get the production done, and done right. Now, here's a guy who shot the Great Circus Parade lying on his back after hundreds of horses passed through to get the iconic shot up through the stilt walker legs. He shot, built sets, lighting schemes, produced stories, directed segments, both in the field and live on the air. He was on camera and he did voiceover work, whatever it took.
Your cheerfulness, your endless patience, your rapport with the students was enviable.
When you say the word "I was taught by Glenn Riley," you'd be surprised how many other people, especially in the local broadcast community here in Milwaukee, will say, "Yeah, I know a Glenn. Glenn taught me."
Television perfectionists.
You were going to approach your coursework as a professional, no excuses, no reason not to do your best. Now, that being said, despite that tough love approach, there was a great deal of love. He loved his job, he loved the students, and he was always there for those students.
I can think of no other person more deserving, on a personal bias of my own, than Glenn Riley to receive the Silver Circle Award. Glenn has been influential in many individuals in their broadcasting careers, professionally, personally, and I'm very proud to know that I know Glenn Riley, and I'm very proud of him receiving this award.
Please welcome 2023 Silver Circle inductee, Glenn Riley.
I guess. Hello, everyone. You know, when I was 15 years old, one of my best friends came to my parents' house and dragged me down to MATC for a week-long minority workshop in television production. This was 1975. And we went down, I really didn't want to go. It was summertime. And I was thinking, as I sat there and I was listening to the coordinator, Carol Malone, all the different things I could be doing at that point in time in my life at 15. Riding my bike, getting a grape Jolly Good soda, chips, maybe a Hostess Twinkie or something like that for dessert. I wasn't thinking about TV at all. And then at one point, they pulled out the cameras, RCA TK somethings with a black and white camera with turret lenses. That's what I trained on. And then they turned on the studio lights, and that was all it took. That's what I wanted to do for the rest of my life, was be in television production. So I came back after the week. I followed up with the week and decided that's what I'm going to do, just train on that. So I finally got into the college in 1977 and had to wait a year because the program was full. But that was all right. I was already training in my mind from the time I was 15, now I'm 17. I'm training. So at my parents' house, I would literally stand up as I'm watching TV and pretend like I was having a camera. And while I'm watching TV, when the camera would pan, I would pan. When it zoomed, I would zoom. And you can tell I'm pretty old because I got the old crank zoom. When I finally got into the program about a year later, I felt I was ready to take on the world of television production, but the classes were very, very hard. I recall that at one point in time, as Dave Ball on the video mentioned, that we had to do a half-hour production on Channel 36 to graduate. It was the last semester I had. And I had an African dance troupe from North Division High School, great group. And the day of the taping, they canceled on. So I went to Dave Ball and I said, hey, Dave, this is what happened. I'm not gonna have anything to do, no show to produce or direct. And he said, Glenn, don't worry about it, don't worry about it. You're one of the top 3 students in the program. I'm gonna give you a passing grade. Just help the other students down the line for the rest of the week and next week on. Now that's what I heard. That's not what he said. Okay? What he said was, what time does your show go? 2:30. Oh, okay, it's 11 o'clock. Well, you have two choices to do here. You got 2 things you can try to do. Put another show on the air by 2:30, or at 2:30, I will come into the studio and expect to see you tap dancing for half an hour, and I get the hell out of my office. Eventually, all that hard work and such in college paid off, and I finally got hired at Milwaukee PBS in the spring of 1982. And that was just, a moment in time for me, that being there and meeting all those people and working with so many talented people, that gave me so much wisdom and courage to continue on in that program, the old timers as we call them. And they gave me the chance to listen to them and learn from them and grow from them. People like Liddy and Raul, getting on their programs and running camera, all those different things that I was hired to do, which was camera and floor direct, teleprompter, technical director, eventually being promoted to studio supervisor and lighting director. I got to do all those things, which is just great. I couldn't imagine it anymore. When we started doing productions, and I started working in productions more and more during the course of my time there, working on the shows that Milwaukee PBS had, it was amazing to meet so many different people. President Jimmy Carter, I was floor director for him, and I have a great picture. I wish we had it, but it was a great picture of me stuffing a microphone cable down his pants, and the look on his face as I'm stuffing a mic cable down his pants, along with the Secret Service agents, wondering what I was doing. It's amazing. Kevin Pauls and I, we went and we shot Senator, at that time, Senator Barack Obama, years ago, and so many more people. Governor Douglas Wilder, Gilbert Gottfried I met and worked with, Vanessa Williams, Mickey Rooney, Oscar Robertson, Hank Aaron, Bud Selig, the Tuskegee Airmen, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. I was very fortunate being there. I realized that all the hard work I had put in, all the things we were doing at Milwaukee PBS, we were creating art. That's what we were doing. We were creating visual art. And that to me was just amazing, that I got to do something that was impacting people's lives. I realized that productions like the Great Circus Parade, the Milwaukee Symphony, political debates, plays, concerts, children's programs, and even sports. That's what we were doing at Milwaukee PBS back in the day. And even roughly seven local productions that took place every single week. And I had a chance to work on that. And to this day, I think fondly of those days, to have that experience, to be given the chance to do it. I'm proud of the work that we did at Milwaukee PBS. I really am. How we entertained, educated, and informed the masses. I'm very proud of that. But I'm also proud of being the first African-American studio supervisor and lighting director. Proud of being the first African-American first-year instructor for that program. There's nothing like seeing a young student come in who's thinking about television, and they see my face and they say, if he can do it, I can do it. A young person, a young kid of color. It meant so much to me to do that and to recruit and to help them along the way. And as some of the people on the video mentioned, I was tough on a lot of students, and you have to be, especially from where I came. You couldn't slack off. You couldn't do things like that. I did not have a plan B when I went to school. It was either television or nothing else. So you have to push them. God has truly been good to me in all the things I've done in my life and what I've done for this program and what the program and the station has done for me. To all those who have helped me along the way, like my parents, Robert and Annie, who supported and sacrificed so much so that my siblings and I could have a better life. My brothers, my sisters, all my family members and friends, the people that I love the most in this world. I am so grateful on this day. And I cannot comprehend why the committee thinks I am deserving of this. But I thank you all so very much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
Please welcome Chicago Midwest Natus board member and chair of the Wisconsin Silver Circle Committee, Mark Zaromsky.